your property.
Oh, hi,
Nice to
Melissa.
meet you.
I'm
We spoke
Tina.
on the phone.
This is my husband, Dominic.
Hi, Dominic. So nice to meet you. How are you both?
Yeah, well, thank you. Really well. Did you want to sit and have a chat first? Or do you want to see the house
Absolutely.
here?
Yeah, let's sit down and have a chat first, and then you can show me around your home.
Excellent, thank you.
Have you guys had a good day? Yeah.
Yeah, it's been good.
Fantastic. So I know, Tina, we spoke on the phone briefly yesterday, so it'd be really great if you could just let me know sort of like what your plans are. I know that you were speaking about downsizing, so why don't you, we'll just start with you telling me a bit about what your plans are, and then we can go through all the rest of it.
Well, we've been in this house for a long time, haven't we? About 30 years.
30 years as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Yeah, it is a long time.
brought our kids up here.
Yeah, we have. It's been an amazing 30 years, but yeah, we're just ready to downsize.
We don't need this much space.
No,
anymore.
fair
It's
enough,
too
fair
hard.
enough.
Yeah.
And are your family still living in the area, or are they around you? Or?
Some of the kids have moved to the country, and some have moved away.
Nice.
So we kind of thought that it might be nice to be closer to the grandkids now. So
Yeah, great.
that's part of the
Fantastic.
reason. Yeah.
I can imagine that's probably quite an emotional sort of decision to be making if you've been here for such a long time.
Yeah, it has been a big decision, but we're ready for a change and
Yeah.
excited.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's very exciting. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what I've put together, I know we discussed a little bit about the property yesterday, so I've put together a presentation pack for you that's got a few sort of examples of advertising or marketing strategies, so we'll go through all of that. Obviously, you know, your home is absolutely beautiful. You've obviously done,
Thank you.
you know, a lot of refurbishment over the year. I know that you, Tina, had told me that it was built in 1930s. So
Yeah, that's right.
obviously undergone some quite extensive renovations, and
Yeah, we've tried to look after it as best we can.
yeah, it's absolutely immaculate. I think
Thank
whoever's
you.
going to be purchasing it will be very lucky. Okay, so just to discuss a little bit about myself. So I have been working in the real estate industry now since I was 25.
Oh wow.
Obviously you can tell from my accent that I'm a Kiwi, but I started working in real estate, as I said, when I was 25. So that was a fairly long time ago now.
No, surely.
Yeah, well, golly, I'm 44 this year, so.
Wow, you don't look it.
Oh, thank you, that's kind. And so I worked in the industry for a while, and then worked on a consultancy basis for a company that was just starting up, so training their real estate agents in all the computer systems and everything that we had available for a while, and then I had the opportunity to get into doing loss adjusting, which is insurance assessing, which again has given me a really good background in building, sort of more to do with the structure of the building and how buildings are developed and that kind of thing. So I was also the sales and marketing manager for a very high-end boutique property development company. So I'm very used to working with a wide range of buyers, from the very discerning buyers at the top end of the market to, you know, right down near the bottom. I've sort of had the full scope, which has given me a lot of experience over the years. Yeah, no, it's something I'm very passionate about. But you know, obviously my main passion is people, property and people. So I like to be able to merge those two things together, and you know, I wouldn't consider myself to be a pushy salesperson. I'm more in the game of bringing people together and helping people achieve their dreams. So I've purchased, sold and purchased property myself, so I do have an understanding of how stressful it can be, and also how exciting it is when you get the result that you're after, which hopefully we'll be able to do for you guys.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so the company that I work for have also been established in the area for a very long time. I'm sure you've obviously heard of them because they've been around in the Ivanhoe area for a good deal of time. So we've got very knowledgeable staff. So the benefit of listing with us is that it's not just me working for you, it's our whole team. We've got, you know, a huge buyer pool. We work very collaboratively with our other team members. If somebody else in my team has a buyer that's looking for something, they also may have a property that you'd be interested in purchasing, and we can work on those kind of collaborative relationships as well.
Excellent.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so have you got any questions at the moment? Have you got any sort of worries or concerns or anything like that that are, you know, anything that you really need to sort of discuss at this point?
What do you think, love?
I suppose the main thing for us is getting the price that we want.
Okay.
Because we want to move on and be able to
Be
purchase
comfortable.
another property
Sure,
and be
absolutely.
comfortable. And I suppose just the less drama, the better.
I was going to say that. Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't want stress. We'd love to sell as quickly as possible and just be able to move on to, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So do you have an estimated sort of price in mind that you were looking to get at this stage? Do you have any
Yeah,
idea?
well, I think looking at the properties around us and friends who've sold, and given that we've renovated fairly recently,
Mm-hmm.
and everything in the house is pretty new
Mm-hmm.
and very good quality, we're thinking about 1.6.
Okay.
Be great if we could get more.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So 1.6 would be your dream price?
Yeah.
Or is that more around what you're very much expecting? Like that, would that be on, say for example, if we were going to take the property to auction, would 1.6 be what you would expect as the reserve price, or more of that would be your dream price?
I think that's what we're hoping for. So that, I guess,
Yeah,
is
the
the dream
dream.
price, rather
Okay.
than, yeah.
Good as gold. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and done a little bit of research behind the scenes yesterday of what is currently selling, what's just recently sold and what's on the market at the moment in your area.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just go through that for a minute. So as you can see, you've got this property which is actually just around the corner from your house.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
This just sold about 2 weeks ago for 1.57, and I would say that that's quite a comparable property with yours, on account of the fact that it's also solid brick construction. It's got 3 bedrooms, it's got the 2 car spaces. It may not be quite as well appointed as your house. I don't think. I've actually been through this house myself, and I can see just taking a look around that you've got, you know, very high quality finishing, high quality carpets and things like that. And I imagine that the rest of the house is probably fairly similar. So that would definitely, I think your 1.6 is definitely something that we could aim towards. I mean, we could never guarantee the price, but it's definitely something that would be in a feasible range. So I would say maybe, depending on what method of sale you want, we could look at marketing it at around sort of like the 1.55 to the 1.6 mark, with a hope that we could push it over that limit if we have a couple of buyers that are competing against each other. I'll leave this document with you. So obviously there's other comparable properties that I've put there just for your interest, which are also around the same sort of price.
Okay, that's great.
I'll pop that back in there, and I can leave you a copy of this as well.
And so you were saying that depends on the method of selling.
Yeah, so as far as method of selling, are you very familiar with the way that properties are marketed these days and sold?
Well, I think, you know, the fact that we've been sort of looking for a property, we have been investigating it. We have been here for 30 years, so I mean we have an idea, but we're not sure on the details. or what it actually would practically mean.
Absolutely.
for
So
us,
what kind of idea are you thinking at the moment?
Well, I guess we both thought that selling by auction may get us a better price.
Premium price? Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is definitely one of the benefits to selling by auction. So let's just go through. I mean, there are basically two options that I would recommend in regards to selling your house, and either are very effective, but they both have pros and cons attached to both of them. So with auction, it is a more intensive marketing period. It's a lot shorter, but it's very intensive. So that would mean a significant amount of open homes, so around 2 per week, maybe on a Wednesday and a Saturday, really hit the marketing advertising wise. The benefit of the auction would be that if you've got several interested parties in the room at the same time bidding, that they will try and outbid each other, which can drive the price up. There are a few things that aren't so much, I mean, I don't like to say negative aspect of it, but for you, I think, because you've been living in this home for such a long time, and it obviously is quite an emotional decision. I mean, you have brought your children up here, and there's obviously a lot of memories attached to being here. I do feel that the marketing campaign of an auction might be a little bit too intense, and that maybe going with a private sale may potentially be what I would recommend, on account of the fact that it's a little bit more flexible around the marketing options, the time frames. It's also a little bit of a longer period of time. It's a bit more relaxed. There's a bit more room for negotiation. The only other benefit of auction though is that all the contracts are clean, because everybody's done their due diligence beforehand, so your contracts won't be subject to clauses. So if people want to get a building inspection or get their finance organised, it's all done prior to auction day, so you know that the contract is clean. But that's not to say that a private sale contract might not be as well. And there's also room to negotiate things like, have you, for example, thought about what settlement period you would be looking for? I know that you still need to purchase your own home going forward, so you may...
That definitely impacts on us. I think we were hoping for 90 days if possible, but it would be flexible if we had to be.
Yeah,
so.
So there is a little bit of flexibility around that.
If it meant, the difference between getting the price that we wanted and not, then there would definitely be flexibility. But I suppose 90 days would be our ideal.
Okay, fantastic. And how do you feel about open home inspections as opposed to just having people come through booking by appointment?
I think either is fine. We don't have kids living here, so we keep the house pretty immaculate all the time. So it's it would be fine to have people coming through by appointment. And also by appointment, but also having open homes is fine as well, because
I mean, we can do a combination of both. I would definitely recommend having open homes, because Ivanhoe is such a sought after location. There's likely to be quite a lot of interested parties wanting to come. You've got fantastic schools in the area. Your house is really close to the shopping precinct. There's a lot of reasons why people would want to buy this property. And for that reason, I think when you get a lot of people in the house at the same time, and there's a bit of a buzz going, and people are saying, oh, I love the kitchen, or oh wow, check out this detail, or the bathroom's amazing, and other people overhear that, then it creates a sense of urgency around needing to put an offer in so that they don't miss out. And I think that if you have it by appointment only, there's sort of less of a sense of urgency. There's people like, oh yeah, I like it, you know, we'll go away and think about it. And they don't really have that understanding that they need to act now in order to secure their dream home. So I think open homes in this particular area, in this particular property, will probably be very important.
That makes a lot of sense.
I think so.
I think we'd be happy to go with
Great.
whatever works best, really.
Okay, fantastic. That sounds awesome. So I've put together a little bit of a presentation for you around some different marketing ideas. Some of them are fairly standard, but I've put together this as well just because your house is so special, and I'm assuming that there would be a lot of interest in it. So you really want to put together something that's going to outshine the rest of the market. So what I would be thinking is something like, as far as advertisements, like we would do a full page ad in the real estate magazine. We would obviously upload the property, you know, we'd have professional photos taken, a walkthrough so that prospective buyers would have a copy of the floor plan. There's a few other options as well. When you put it up on the websites, it would go up on our website. We would put it up on domain realestate.com.au, which is sort of the main internet websites that people are looking at now. Most people in the market now are pretty discerning buyers. They sort of know where to go, they know what they're looking for. Then you'll get people that'll be flicking through the newspaper and they just see something and just be like, I wasn't even thinking of buying or moving, but oh my goodness, that's amazing. So we do want to try and capture that market as well. So I would recommend a combination of both website and print marketing, as long as you guys are happy. Do you have a kind of budget in mind for advertising? Or do you have any understanding of what the packages usually look like, price-wise?
I just assumed that would sort of be included in the commission.
Right, okay, so no, unfortunately it's not. It is an on-top price, so we can get on to discussing the commission in a minute.
So when would we have to pay that advertising?
There's several different options for that. So you can either pay it up front when you sign the exclusive listing, which could be today, hopefully, or you know, whenever you feel comfortable. Otherwise, it can be paid sort of like over the next week. It has to be paid prior to when we go to market. If you're in a position where you can't pay that money up front, there are also options. There's finance options available, and there's also options to take it out of the commission. We don't tend to do that, but if that's something that really needs to happen, that's something I can negotiate with my management team. Yeah, it's not something they usually do, but if you're in a position where you can't pay it up front, it's something that we could look at doing as well. So what I was sort of thinking in regards to your property would be doing, as I've said, put it up on the internet. The listing period would be 60 days for an exclusive listing. And then you obviously at the end of that 60 days you'd have the right of renewal, or if it expires and you don't feel comfortable carrying on the listing, you can at that point cancel it and list with somebody else, hopefully not. Or we can just re-sign another listing agreement to carry on if the house hasn't sold by then, which I wouldn't imagine, but you just never know. So I would say if we structured it a little like this, with a full page ad the first week, and then a couple of half page ads the second and third week. Obviously if it sells within that period, we'd pull the ads and we'd refund you the remainder of any outstanding marketing money that you've already contributed. So I've given given you a breakdown here of all the costings, so at the end of the day that would come to $1,500. Is that something that you would be comfortable?
Yeah,
Sounds
Well,
very reasonable.
sounds very reasonable.
Yeah, and
It's
it
not
also
less than
that also includes a signboard, so that would be like this out the front of the
And does
property.
that include, like, if people come and look, they get like a bit of paper?
A brochure, absolutely. So that's what I've popped into here for you. So I've just, I like to do my marketing slightly differently than some people. So I always put together something like this. Comes in a nice folder with photos on the front, a description about the property inside, and then people get to take these away, which have got some more internal photos, a copy of the plan, a bit more information. So this is sort of more about the company. And then on the back I like to put all the specifications and chattels, which we would obviously discuss what's staying with the house, appliances, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So
Great. Yeah, it does look great.
thank you. And another option you have if you wanted to, I don't necessarily know that this would be necessary for your property, because I think it speaks for itself, and it's such a highly desirable property that you may not need to spend the additional money. But for quite a lot of our high-end properties like this, we'll also do a walkthrough video, which is all edited, set to really nice sort of background music, and it just shows people what it might feel like to live there, sort of thing. It gets people emotionally involved in the purchase, so sometimes I like to do that as well, but that's just another option for you. Okay, so we did discuss commission before. Our commission is a base rate of 1.5%, including GST, of the estimated sale price, which I think is very competitive in the market at the moment. I don't know if
is it negotiable at all? That price, that percentage?
We tend to not negotiate on account of the fact that it is so competitive in the market. I think that if you were looking at agents that charge less than that, you might be finding that the service that they provide is potentially not quite up to the level that we do. We try and operate with the highest level of integrity, the best marketing tools. We're all very highly trained professionals, so 1.5 is generally where we like to sit. However, if that was something that was going to break the deal, so to speak, it is something I could discuss with my management and get back to you on.
Okay.
There may be a little bit of room to move on that.
All right.
Okay, so on the basis of what I've told you today, pending having a look around and everything, how are you feeling? Have you got any questions, or do you feel like you'd be happy to move forward on that basis?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I'm very happy.
Yeah, I don't have any extra questions at this stage. It's
Fantastic.
great presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you, that's very kind. Okay, so I will just get a copy of the exclusive listing form.
So what does this mean?
So an exclusive listing agreement means that you are giving me the right to exclusively market and advertise your property on your behalf. It means that no other agents or anything can market the property at the same time.
Okay.
What that does is gives you more control. I've also given you a copy here of all the relevant legislation. So we've got the Real Estate Agents Act Professional Conduct Guide, and the Property Sale and Purchase Agreement Guide.
Okay.
These have basically got all the frequently asked questions. I do recommend that you read through them so that you know what your rights are. You are heavily protected under these acts for any of misconduct, not just by me or my agency, but also by purchasers. I mean, yeah, as I mentioned before, we are all highly trained, and the real estate industry is heavily governed by very strict legislation in order to build more trusting relationships with buyers and sellers like yourself. So I'll leave that with you. If you have any further questions, please do contact me, because I'm more than happy to answer any more. Okay, I did bring a pen. I thought I brought a pen. Okay, so I'll just get you to fill out here. Just initial each page. Make sure that you just read through all of these if you have any questions. And just initial each page, and then just sign here.
Great.
Thanks. Lovely. Okay. Would you like to show me around?
We'd love to.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Melissa.
Thank you.
No
Lovely
problem.
to meet you.
It's so nice. I'm really excited to be working with you.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for trusting me. It's a very big decision.